seconds, but we could just walk it.
Here I go. Reloading. I killed the whole squad. Cool.
So today I want to sit down and once again talk about the future of the Titanfall franchise. A bit of a Titanfall 3 crafting and speculation discussion based now on the knowledge we have of Apex Legends. I think it's important that I start this discussion by saying that I don't really believe Titanfall 3 is in any way in development and releasing this year. We know the game was essentially canceled. The Respawn team went on to create Apex Legends, and they are dedicated to Apex Legends for the foreseeable future. Now, Vince Zampella, pretty much the day after Apex Legends released, says, oh, we've got more Titanfall coming for you in 2019. I don't believe that to be Titanfall 3, but that's mostly me setting my expectations accordingly. Plus the reasons they kind of canceled Titanfall 3 and moved on to another project, you know, those were pretty solid reasons in my opinion. I don't see those reasons somehow now being null and void just because of the success of Apex Legends. That said, it does obviously open up a lot of opportunities for Respawn to do more things in the Titanfall universe, even if that isn't directly Titanfall 3. What I wanted to do today, though, was talk a little bit about what I would like to see Respawn do now that we've played Apex Legends in regard to a future Titanfall. So call it Titanfall 3, call it whatever you want to call it. Here's some of the things that Apex Legends is doing really well, some of the things I'd like to see Respawn do if they did another Titanfall core title that had multiplayer. And then I also want to tie that into an idea that I have, something I've been thinking about in regard to how Respawn could essentially give us Titanfall multiplayer with wall running and at some point Titans directly inside or alongside of Apex Legends without necessarily launching an entirely new Titanfall game. So let's roll the clocks back about a year ago. I started talking Titanfall 3, doing speculation, theory crafting videos, as Titanfall 2 was kind of starting to wind down for me personally and for the development team at Respawn, as they were no longer supporting the game with active updates. I really spoke on two key premises more than anything else. Number one was an increased need for a push for accessibility. I could have said that in a much shorter way, but basically, if Respawn was going to do Titanfall 3, they needed to do some things to make the game accessible to a larger audience and to crush down the skill gap that Titanfall 1 and 2 had even just a little bit. To, in some cases, even lower the skill ceiling to make the game appeal to a wider audience. Movement-based shooters don't do well on a larger scale. This has been proven time and time and time again. They just create a very large barrier for entry, and then even when they're accessible at the front end, there's this top 10% of the player base that just runs all over the other 90% because they've taken the time to master that movement that everyone else just really isn't going to. And I've always attributed that to one of the reasons Titanfall 2 was never as successful as it could have been. And I think while Apex Legends has a lot of other things going for it, that lack of like advanced movement mechanics via slide hopping and even the wall running in some cases, I think it's a good demonstration of what happens when Respawn does all the things they do so well in a more boots on the ground environment that is more accessible to the masses. So if they're going to push forward and make another Titanfall entry, I think they can preserve the wall running, the double jumping, all of those great little pieces of movement tech, but they do need to do away with slide hopping. Now, I've had conversations with like Iniquity on this. We talked a little bit about like theory crafting, like what if they did something like Warframe, but I think personally, I always come back to this. Why bother at all? Just build the game around wall running more than you've built Titanfall 2 around wall running. Titanfall 2 is very much a sandbox that works really, really well for slide hoppers. Like, there's a lot of big open surfaces to gap between, and when you do that with slide hopping, it makes you very quick, it makes you very fast, and it puts you at a huge advantage in some cases, especially when you're talking competitive play where everybody's playing at a really high level. So doing away with that and instead building environments that play well to double jumping, the now enhanced like long slide we get in Apex Legends, and basic wall running, I think would be a great step forward. The other thing that I harped on quite consistently was the idea of revamping the way the pilot system works in Titanfall. So in Titanfall 2, it's freeform for pilots, but then locked in hero shooter style for Titans. I've always felt like they should just go the full hero shooter route for pilots as well and give us dedicated characters with dedicated classes, abilities, and kits. And guess what? They ended up doing exactly that with Apex Legends, and Respawn did it better than anyone else. here's why Apex Legends is a better hero shooter than every other hero shooter on the market. There's no win button for any single one of these legends when it comes to their ultimate. This is the thing that I think Overwatch is starting to struggle with now, because it's just alt countering out. Everything has to be a hard counter, few soft counters, but everybody's just countering everything, right? And every alt like has the chance to do a bunch of damage, or to do a bunch of damage boosting, or a bunch of healing. Everything in Apex is very soft. And while there are champions or legends that you could say are better than others, it's not because this one's ult kills everything more quickly than that one's ult kills everything. You know, you're not dropping a Diva nuke, you're not going full Reaper here, you're not Soldier 7-6ing everybody with your aimbot gun. At most, you've got Gibraltar, who does like raw damage. But even then, it's not this devastating just destroy all win button. And I think that would actually translate really well into like legends like the ones we see in Apex Legends, moving into a core multiplayer Titanfall-esque experience with wall running. And so here's where things start to get crazy. What if, rather than Respawn like doing another Titanfall, they just start to introduce other ways in which we can experience the universe of Titanfall that exists in Apex Legends? What if we got, akin to the live fire maps of Titanfall 2, small form, wall run enable focused 3v3 PvP environments to start? Before we even talk about Titans, let's bring back that movement focused gameplay. Respawn can use assets from King's Canyon, designing these small sort of sandboxy deathmatch environments. 3v3, maybe it's like 10 lives for your whole team, last team standing wins. And you can make use of the legends in that environment. There obviously would have to be some tweaks in some cases with some of the ultimates, but maybe not. Maybe just design the game around that, right? Nothing wrong with Gibraltar's ult if you've got interior spaces where players can hide from. Those ults maybe build up over the series of rounds, so it's not as if you're going to get your ult every round, but you get it, you know, in the second round or the third round, and it's best of 5 or whatever. I just see a lot of potential for the platform they've already built with Apex Legends to do so much more, and to bring back wall running and environments that are designed 100% bespoke for that sort of an experience, alongside of, again, everything happening with the Legends gameplay. To me, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to see what Respawn could do with that. And I don't know if they've experimented with something like that, but it's something that I'd like to see them dabble in. And I'm very much on the mindset of, when you have a game as successful as Apex, there's not really a huge concern for like splitting the player base. Oh, but if they add that mode, then everyone's just going to play that all the time. I don't think that's the case with a game as big as Apex. It's so popular right now that, to me, that you're just adding more to the package. You're giving players more diverse ways in which they can experience the game, more variety on what could be a nightly or a weekly set of play sessions. So maybe Friday night, I spend the first 2 hours of my session playing, you know, the core Kings Canyon Battle Royale experience, but then we wrap up the last hour with some Apex Legends live fire 3v3. You know, it's just a whole new way of playing, a different way to experience the Legends. It also would give people a great opportunity to put a little bit more practice into the game with the gunplay, with the Legends, getting a feel for the different weapons, and of course, getting a taste of that wall running focused gameplay that Titanfall was so well known for. Again, no room for slide hopping here, in my opinion, but you build the maps around that. You build the maps around that movement, and you could have this really cool bespoke sort of offshoot experience that is very different than the core game, but that still has a lot of those same core elements with the Legends being carried over. Now, if we want to go beyond that, I don't even know if that will ever happen. It's just, again, my sort of dream, if you will. And we want to talk like another Titanfall game. I still really do like the idea of the Legends carrying over into Titanfall 3, doing something similar, whether it's a set of pilots that exist in the multiplayer. Maybe we've now got members of the 6-4, members of all of the different factions we got to meet in Titanfall 2, and that now exist in the Apex Legends Titanfall universe even, and they're a part of, like, you know, a similar style Bloodsport, right? Do your separate story thing with BT and Cooper if you can. Bring that into the fray, and have the pilots have their own bespoke Titans. So while you've got this hero system going on, just carry it across. Every single legend, every single pilot has their specific Titan. So they come as a package, and maybe they complement one another. Maybe they carry over skills. I mean, could you imagine Caustic, right? Caustic's got a Scorch-esque Titan. Instead of laying down fire traps, he lays down poison gas traps that are like acid filled, and they eat away at pilot armor. Lifeline has a Monarch-style Titan, perhaps, right? And her Titan has the ability to shield boost and essentially repair the armor of teammates, similar to the mechanics that Monarch had. You know, maybe you've got like a Bangalore-focused Tone-style Titan, where she's using you know, smoke at range to cloak and to essentially push the team via concealment. Like, I love the way Respawn has handled their hero shooter. And I would love to see them carry that over into Titanfall, the next Titanfall, because I feel like they've just done a better job than anyone else has. They've done such a great job in giving us utility over raw power. And I think that's created a very special experience with Apex Legends. It's why I love Octane. It's why I love playing Pathfinder. They're super utility focused. They let me make some insane plays. They let me make my team make some insane plays, just setting them up, you know? So I think there's a lot of good that can come from Apex Legends for the future of Titanfall. And while I'm just sitting here rambling and giving you my thoughts and theories, it's going to be very interesting to see what Respawn does and what they can do. I mean, at the very least, I'm interested to see where Apex Legends goes in terms of events. You know, we know there's supposed to be events and special things happening with Season 1 over the next 90 days. Let's see what they do with that, you know? Let's see if Titans come into the fray at some point, or, you know, we get different ways in which we play the game. I'm curious to see their path forward, but again, just some personal speculation and discussion on what I think they could do and what I think they're set up to do and what I would love to see them do in regard to the future of the Titanfall franchise, as it now encompasses not just the core Titanfall experiences we love and know, but also Apex Legends. These are all one big package now, in my opinion, and I think Respawn has put themselves in a power play position to do really cool shit with the Titanfall universe going forward. So fingers crossed they get all the opportunities and more, because if there was ever a team that deserved it, it is them. They are they. Feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Guys, I'm going to be gone for the rest of the week. I'm sorry if this video sounded a little sluggish. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm going to be gone at PAX. And then when we come back Monday, we got to talk about some stuff with the channel. Things are changing on YouTube, and I've got to kind of make a new push forward, adapt, change, and hopefully you guys will help me do that, and we'll talk more about that on Monday. Have a fantastic week. If you happen to be at PAX East and you see a Tony Mo roaming around, feel free to stop me, say hey, ask me what's up. Throw me a high five. Tell me what your favorite legend in Apex Legends is. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.